Watch this. No way!
Hello and welcome back to the Cookie Jar Golf Podcast. I am Tom Mills and today I'm joined by Cal Wing.
Hello.
And Sir Bruce Fitzpatrick.
Hello.
Sam is also here, but his mic isn't working, so he's just going to nod throughout the whole thing. As always, you can get in touch with us on @CookieJarGolf on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We recently launched the Cleve Hill YouTube video. We're really trying to get behind all this, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. And the hashtag Save Golf on the Hill, which is really starting to get some traction on Twitter and hopefully moving the golf club in the right direction, which is really, really positive news. Did you like the Cleve Hill video, Cal?
I did, yeah. It's really good. I think by the sounds of it, it's all moving in the right direction, and the council have flipped their decision.
Yeah, so where we are at the moment is we understand the council has changed their decision and they are willing to pursue golf on the hill, well, whatever that means and whatever format that takes. But I think whatever really happens, that's a positive step. So I think there's some interested parties that are getting involved, and obviously Sir Nick Faldo has weighed in on it, so that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, huge news.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. So that's our little campaign for the moment. We'll see what else we can save soon. Cookie Jar saved golf.
Yeah.
But since we've got no sort of golf to play because of the torrential weather, we are going to sort of focus our efforts this week on the Scottish Open, which was played in horrendous weather.
Well, it was good for the first 2 days, and then the Saturday was just biblical, wasn't it?
Oh, it was really good to see, though, wasn't it?
But it was great. It's good to see them have a bit of a taste of what we have to deal with most weeks.
I just loved seeing Robert Rock hitting shots and immediately, like, not really holding his finish or anything, but immediately going straight to the umbrella, getting under it and starting the procedure for staying dry. And then, a couple of seconds later, you see the ball just land by the pin or, nestle up somewhere pretty close. And it's just a little bit of a departure from the normal kind of wait 5 minutes over every sort of finish position for the ball to come to rest. It was good, though. It was dramatic finish, at least, wasn't it, on Sunday? Slightly better weather.
Before we move on to the finish, can we talk about their wet weather etiquette? Because, I think we're all quite the advocate for a bucket hat. And you didn't see many, did you? Westwood was going for the backwards cap on his putting. Do you see that?
No, to be fair, what they needed is the bucket hat that a few of us purchased for the longest day, those Imperial ones, which to be honest, are just an absolute lifesaver. I did play 9 holes on Saturday morning and had that out. And there's really, if you've got one of those, there's no need for an umbrella. Saves all of that faff and nice and secure. Don't feel the rain. Perfect.
Other bucket hat makes are available.
Yeah,
they just make the best ones. That's not even an ad. I pay good money for that.
But no, it was good to see Rocky up there again for a second time in a couple of weeks. He's playing some good golf, isn't he?
Yeah. Tough to watch yesterday.
He was
great armchair watching, and it was tough to watch. To be honest,
I didn't watch from the start, so I didn't watch from the start. I'm interested to.
I plugged in with about 6 holes to go. I watched a bit of the early coverage, and then got back into it after lunch. And
so maybe I'm getting this spot off. In which case, educated listeners out there, I'd love to be corrected. But looking at his scorecard, he bogeyed the opening hole, but I'm pretty sure there was a highlight reel or a highlight vid of his approach shot into the first where they said he almost dunks it for eagle and spins one back past the cut.
I think that
6
was
feet.
Up and down for a...
Was it? Oh, he's looking for an
yeah.
up and down par. Because I was like, oh no, he's surely not 3-jabbed that from 6 feet or whatever. It looked like
he found the fairway bunker left.
Did he?
Okay. Left side of the
that's
fairway
good
off
to be
first.
corrected on. Yeah. I just wonder whether any, as I say, didn't see the early parts of the round, but he was pretty keen to get the get the wedge out around the greens on 16 and 18. And apparently, he obviously is known as being a player coach who's done some really great work with Matt Wallace and a few others. And I think he's given some sort of swing advice to Thomas Bjorn in exchange for some short game tips coming from the former Ryder Cup captain. So it'd be interested to know the story on why he was so keen to pull out the wedge, because historically, I mean, he's always been known as a fantastic ball striker, and his swing is brilliant to watch. I mean, that tempo's to die for, but not always been known as the best chipper.
No, it was. I mean, especially the 18th. It was. There was a bit of faffing around before calling over a referee, and let's say he was 5 feet short, 6 feet short of the fringe, front of the green on the 18th. Then I think they relayed a bit of turf, so he was asking a few questions, and I think he managed to get a bit of a drop from what, to be honest, from what you could see on TV, looked like a completely clean lie in the first place. It was just front of the green, so it was sort of fairway height and looked a decent lie. It wasn't plugged or anything. But anyway, got a drop, and it was an uphill. It looked like an uphill putt. Obviously, difficult to tell from the armchair, but uphill putt, a little bit of fringe to cover, but nothing major. And he think flat stick all day long. And then he got out of the wedge, and it was like, oh no, what he did.
Radar was hating it, wasn't he?
Oh,
Radar,
no, he was. I don't think anyone could look.
I can't believe this.
And to be fair, he caught it clean. Good strike, but too hard and like 12 feet past, and it was just a horrible putt back.
Yeah. Was it Paul Laurie at Carnoustie? Was it No. It was Ian Baker Finch at Birkdale, I think, where he's faced with a similar sort of decision, and he had this chip, and he was like, well, if I can't chip to within, it's a simple chip, and if I can't chip within, I don't deserve to win. Was his thought process, and he talks it through. And I wonder whether Rocky's looking at that and thinking, look, if I can't chip this from 6 feet off the green to within 3 feet, I don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
But if you extend that logic, though, you could extend that logic to, like, I don't know, just pulling an example out the back of my arse. Henrik Stenson could be like, well, if I can't hit a driver straight, I don't deserve to win a tour event. And yet, he's made millions and had a hugely successful career just hitting that nuclear 3-wood all over the place. Like, I don't know if when you're out playing tournament golf, it should be about proving to yourself that you can hit certain shots. It should just be about what is going to get the ball in the hole what's going to get it done.
I mean, it was so. I mean, when he hit that chip, I mean, you're looking at it and you're thinking, Christ, he's giving himself 12 feet. But and then obviously Tommy rolls one in from just outside him,
which was just classic Fleetwood. You just knew he was going to birdie it. It was just, and Rocky was in a great spot in the fairway. Unlucky with the second shot, slightly short. Tommy obviously hit a solid putt, and you see him time after time roll in those 20-footers with ease. So you knew Fleetwood was just going to roll that in, and you're just thinking, right, Rocky, just get the flat stick on it. Krishna, even if you leave it 4 feet short, you've got an uphill putt. 4 foot.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, obviously in the playoff, Fleetwood went on to from a similar position to Rock on the 72nd, went on to also make bogey, but he missed a 2-footer or a 3-footer, let's say.
On like 16, 17, wasn't it?
No, on the playoff.
Well, yeah, he missed.
He did miss a short one in real time.
So there, he just missed 2 short putts. Really, that's how I think you look at his tournament. Whereas Rock, I think, like you got to from greenside 25 feet away, you got to be putting it in closer than 10, 12 feet, haven't you? Really, you think, for a player of his caliber. But what do we know?
I tell you what, though, that golf on we'll get on to Aaron Rai shortly, but that golf on the Saturday, I mean, Poulter and Rock, because they were kind of the featured group, I suppose is what you'd call it. Like, just watching them graft for every single shot on that day. I mean, the wind was howling, the rain was just belting it down, and Poulter had basically a new glove every time he shot. And I mean, Tommy Fleetwood, when he came off after that Saturday round, was giving it, I love that. That's what golf should be about. We pay for it. We play for enough money. We might as well, put the graft in when it's not very nice. And it was just, I think that was some of the best golf I've watched that Saturday in a long time.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, no, agreed. It was, that was entertainment. watching them really have to graft and fight. It was good and set up a good Sunday. And obviously yesterday's weather wasn't too bad and scoreable. You had Rai going 6-7 under, and Lucas Herbert was giving it a good go as well.
Mark Warren as well. Just
Mark
caught
Warren
fire on the back nine, didn't he?
Yeah.
Birdie eagle or whatever.
Well, Warren went all week, all 4 rounds under par. That's a pretty decent achievement. So did sort of Benjamin Hebert was 4 rounds under par, and he was tied 19th.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think on a
Benjamin Hebert.
Hebert, like Lucas Hebert.
Are you sure you pronounced that?
Instead of Herbert, it's Hebert. Little French
actually French this time, Mills.
Genuinely French, not Australian. But no, he was. I mean, to be 4 rounds under par around that track and finish tied 19th is consistent, just not.
And a good top 10 from Petrol. Good to see. A bit more like it.
Yeah, your
and
boy.
To be fair, your boy
Eddie
he
Cal.
Was a couple of shots off the lead at one point on the Sunday, he was pretty steady. Birdied the last for a top 10. So
just goes what can happen when you don't throw your putter in the pond.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rai was a quality 64, wasn't it, for it to finish all that off? I thought it looked completely, and that playoff hole was genuine match play, wasn't it? When Rice sticks it in the trap and Tommy straight down the middle, and you're like, all right, done and dusty. He looked like he was fairly in the face as well, didn't he? That fairway trap.
Yeah, he either didn't get everything on it that he wanted to, or he
did well to get it out. Yeah, I thought it was going to be come out sideways, but no, fair play to him. I mean, he was unlucky not to win the week before at the Irish Open, so to be honest, he'll probably take a second check there and first place check this week. It's about another 700 grand more.
And I'll tell you what, Twitter lit up with me and my golf. That's all I saw was me and my golf.
Really?
Well, he gave it to him in his winning speech, and he thanked me and my golf boys because they obviously Piers and Andy obviously coach him. Which I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know that they had sort of high profile clients. I just thought they just worked in the online coaching thing. But I mean,
which one of the two massive logos on Aaron Rai's hat and jumper gave it away? Then Mills, which one made you ask that question?
To be fair, as oblivious as I am to everything in life, is when I only really noticed it when he mentioned it in his winner's speech. When he thanked them personally.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious. I know Sam questioned it as well. But
I'd love to know how that works, because obviously those guys, curate a lot of content on YouTube and really, really cover the game from all different angles, it would seem, or certainly the technical kind of swing aspects of the game from so many different angles, and they seem so busy and travel a hell of a lot. And Aaron, by the looks of things, is quite a private individual. So I've never, there's never been any kind of documentary evidence of them coaching him or what they're working on or how that kind of looks. But yeah, they've obviously played a pretty instrumental role in his development as a player. So yeah, fair play.
They've got his P1 to his P7 covered.
Yeah, just not the matching outfits. Yeah, they haven't quite coordinated on that front. But
no, I thought they could. I don't know, maybe kit him out.
I just thought, blue belt, white shirt is pretty much the go-to uniform, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's as lovely guy as Aaron Rai. To be fair, he seems like an absolute gentleman. So a lovely guy, but there's obviously just a couple of question marks going on there. With obviously, there's the iron covers, there's the 2 gloves, there's a lot of random clothing gear going on as well. Even the shoes are questionable. They're almost like high top black winter spikes.
Yeah, you're not a fan, are you, Cal?
They're just a bit industrial, aren't they? They just look quite heavy.
I think if you're a pro golfer and you get your kit chucked at you left, right, and centre, I don't think you need to be rocking around.
But to
with
be fair,
covers.
I did a bit more digging, and the iron head covers actually have quite a nice story as to why he's got.
Oh, right.
So from what I understand, his dad bought him when he was younger, taking up the games. I'm going to say somewhere, I don't know, maybe the age of 8 or 9. His dad's bought him a very shiny new set of irons, and he goes, "You must treat these with respect. Look after them, everything else." And that's when he sort of gave him a pair of iron covers. And just out of a mark of respect, ever since, he's always used iron covers, just as a sort of tip of the cap to his dad.
That's awesome.
Which is quite cool.
That's quite nice more. Yeah,
I like that.
But
you see, you read that backstory, Cal, and you're not as dismissive as you were before.
No, that's to be fair. No, that's fair enough. But it's so funny because you see on the TV yesterday, it's got iron covers are one thing, and then let's say his wedge has got like the number 8 on, which probably was once upon a time for his 8 iron. He's just got a Sharpie and just put an X through it and put a big P below it. So they're not even matching up, right? It's quite confusing. There's a lot going on there.
That is bonkers. God. Well, clearly some
he certainly seems
to
walk to the beat of his own drum, doesn't he?
Yeah, to be fair. And
interesting story on his development, actually, just piggybacking off what you've said there, Cal, in terms of how his dad, taught him to play the game. So I heard that, he's not far. He grew up not far away from us, did he? I think he's Wolverhampton, Staffordshire lad. Yeah. And apparently when his dad introduced him to the game, it was very much like he'd play off the sort of forward tees or almost tees that his dad would select. And he'd make, say a 4,000-yard golf course for young Aaron, just to mean that he could actually play against par on a course that was sort of suitably long enough for his age category or for how far he hit the ball at that time. And by the sounds of things, almost just took a bit of inspiration from how Tiger learned playing the game, because they say with Tiger, the reason he became so dominant is he literally won at every level before he then moved on to the next level. And so as a result was always kind of had this bulletproof mentality because he never really lost. And then gradually they just sort of, step up the standard at which he was playing. And it sounds like Mr. Rai kind of followed a somewhat similar protocol with Aaron. And yeah, I mean, he dominated on the Challenge Tour a few years ago, didn't he? Like he won, I think he just got instant promotion to the European Tour before the Challenge Tour season was over because he'd won the requisite 3 or 4 times. And, he's been and done it his own way. And yeah, I mean, fair play to him. Like that's a huge flagship event that he's got under his belt now and like inside the top 100 of the world rankings, like 5th on the Race to Dubai board, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I think
it's a
shaping up
Rolex.
to be a good career.
It's a Rolex series event as well, isn't it? So it's one of the big ones. Isn't it?
Pretty much winning, winning the Players' Championship. It's technical 5th major, maybe.
At the home of golf.
There's some prestigious winners of the Scottish Open.
It's a fair big event. No, and to be fair, just finishing off on that, I think he played his golf at South Staffs, where Peter Baker is head pro. He's former European Tour and Ryder Cup player, one of Ian Woosnam's good mates. So yeah, he's really not that far away. In fact, I played it last year with a listener of the pod, Adam Priest. Shout out. And no, you do see Aaron Rai. He's on the board pretty much everywhere in the clubhouse. To be fair, but interesting enough, I've heard Pepperell say this before. He actually rejected playing for England all the way through.
Yeah, really.
Didn't want to get involved in the EU. Just did his own thing, which is fair
Why
enough.
would that be?
Well, it goes back to this thing about his dad, like keeping him quite sheltered, I think, and basically just maybe cultivating this mindset of someone who just who can get it done, essentially under pressure, and
similar to Tiger in a way, as you say. He's sort of doing their own thing to a degree. Albeit Tiger probably played in a bit more. He did represent the US.
He did Walker Cup
in the Walker Cup and a few other bits. Yeah. So
speaking of doing your own thing, he's not the only winner this this weekend. We've got Sergio on the PGA Tour, and I suppose the big story coming out of that was, I don't know whether he was just praying, but putting with his eyes closed. I mean, I've never heard anything like it.
Well, you say that. I mean, people a few years ago were pretty surprised by Spieth looking at the hole inside 5 feet, weren't they? And that worked pretty effectively. I mean, with Sergio, like I think there was a little snippet on the PGA Tour Instagram feed saying that, he just feels like he makes a better stroke if he's not paralysed by looking at the ball, really. And it certainly translates over better to tournament golf than any other putting method. But he's been through so many iterations, hasn't he? He's done claw grip, pencil grip, reverse claw grip, belly putter,
everything.
I mean, he's probably, to be fair, Cal, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he might be able to rival your workshop one-stick collection.
He will beat me. He will beat me, hands down.
But he only needs it to work for one good week, and his ball striking and the rest of his game is so good that
mine's probably been driven slightly more by lockdown or whatever, and just having a bit more time to tinker. But funny one. I picked up on that yesterday, and he even said for his win at the Masters a few years ago that he was doing it then.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It just smoothens out his stroke and seems to work well for him. Which, to be honest, I can't say I've ever tried it. So maybe we've got to give it a go.
I was going to say medal this coming Saturday. Is that technique going to get a run out, Cal?
Unfortunately, I'm away, but I'll have to try it.
Everyone, you'll have to stay tuned until the next.
But if you guys give it a go, and then you can give us an update in a week's time.
But it was a decent field at the PGA. I saw sort of a better field than has been since the US Open. So there was a couple of major champions in there, and Sergio's got it done, hasn't he? Birdie in the last to get it done. So
hell of the second shot, Jesus, to like 4 feet, and plus I think he eagled 15 or 16 par 5.
4. I thought it was like 2 feet, wasn't it?
Was it 14?
Yeah.
Like that. That was a great eagle, and then the shot in the last, needing a birdie to win, sticking it to 3-4 feet, whatever it was and then with the eyes closed, it was great.
Yeah, it's such a different mentality, though, isn't it? To have when you got 2 bites of the cherry, I think you can really go at the pin and think, well, if I 2-putt it, I'm still in the playoff. Whereas
he wanted to get it done.
It was a great approach shot, wasn't it?
The old skip and jump and everything else.
Yeah,
it was,
and they did a close up, didn't they? They almost, I don't know if they sent word to the cameraman when they clocked onto this putting method, but it was almost like the cameraman was like on the ground, looking straight up the sort of up his cap, essentially, to check that his eyes were closed over this 2-footer, and you can just see him shut them, and you just love to know what goes through his head when he's actually like got a putt to win a tournament like that, and he's shutting his eyes.
Yeah, and to be fair, he did call it. I remember seeing something on Friday evening, so he sort of made the cut in a pretty good position going to the weekend, and I think he sent out a tweet or something going, the game really isn't far away. Feeling good things. So who knows? Could he 2-time Masters champion in November? Who knows? It's a little run.
I bet you get some decent odds on that, wouldn't you?
I mean, you get Sergio putting, and he can do everything else. So,
the ball strike. I mean, that eagle.
Apart from etiquette.
But he might be.
I'm only joking. Those bunkers in Saudi were a disgrace. I'm just joking.
They were a disgrace.
Far too much sand in them. He was just removing some of the excess sand.
He was but that approach on 14, I think, really set it up, because it was 260 yards was his second, and he put it to 1 yard, 3 feet, and then stuffed it for eagle. I mean,
Sergio Waggle was on.
Yeah, but like you say, he's so streaky that when he gets on a run, it's hard to beat him. It's like Rory in that way, when Rory gets on a run.
It might be worth a couple of quid, little sleeper bet.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else coming up before that?
Heard it here first. Cal Wing.
Heard it here first. Well, I've claimed Morikawa, I think, and a few others. So.
You can't just say them in the preceding year at some point and be like, "Yep, called it." Said they were going to do something. Victor Hovland, he'll be next.
Yeah. But I don't think, is there anything else that you might? I'm trying to think. Well, it's just standard PGA Tour events between now and the Masters, isn't it? There's nothing else.
Yeah,
apart from
a weird
this
schedule.
Week, but I don't think Garcia will be playing at Wentworth.
It's a bit of a weird schedule, isn't it, leading into the Masters? Because you've got Wentworth, which is the final Rolex Series event on the European Tour, starting next week. And then
you can't imagine they'll be coming across for that, though, will they?
Wentworth this week.
No. Yeah, so you got, this week, of course, because it's Monday now, yeah. Then the Shriners Hospitals also starting this week, which is an event out in Vegas that usually
it's
gets
just
pretty decent support.
Middle of the
I think
road.
DeChambeau and a few others have already committed to it. Then you've got really not much sort of after that, beyond maybe the Zozo Championship at Sherwood, which was going to be in Japan. That's where Tiger won last year. He'd be defending at Sherwood, I guess. But
do you think they'll fly across to Japan and play in that?
No, it's been rescheduled to Sherwood in the US, I believe. Yeah,
there'll be another Rocket Mortgage or something like that to keep us entertained, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
LPGA
of course,
as well. Brief
yeah,
mention
Mel
of that,
Reid.
but-
Yeah.
Mel Reid keeping down a stellar field
That's
in the
awesome.
LPGA.
Yeah.
I know that I tuned in on that, and Nelly Corder was flying at one point, absolutely flying, but she's sort of obviously faltered towards the end, and Mel Reid is looks like she's absolutely smashed it. 19
fair
under.
play to her. Well, it's just shows her. She moved out to Florida a couple of years ago and sort of gave the Ladies European Tour sort of a bit of a time out and wanted to try America and just give it a good go. And well, I think to get a win in 18 months out there, however long she's been out there now, is awesome, especially against that kind of field as well. That's
It was
some
strong.
serious golf.
Yeah, well, you had Minjee Lee and Brooke Henderson. I think were both playing there. Obviously, top 5 players. Lexi Thompson, as you mentioned, Tom. Nelly Corder was up there. It was a really good field, and I guess a lot of them wanted to play that because you've got the women's PGA next week at Aronimink, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean that in a way is actually the LPGA is kind of bubbling up to its kind of crescendo. Whereas the PGA and the European Tour are slightly waning a bit, which
Well, they've got that extra major, don't they?
Well, yeah, this is the strange sort of paradox of women's golf, isn't it? They've had so many different majors come and go over the years. I mean, depending on which year you measure it, some players have got 12 majors, and then another year they've got 2. So it's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, the ranking system as well, actually. I'm going to confess here, I'm a little bit uneducated on the finer details of women's golf. But it seems to me like the rankings for major championships are just the points you get for winning majors or finishing well at majors are just so much higher than any other event. I mean, beyond any comparison with the PGA Tour, like Sophia Popov, for instance, incredible story, her winning at Troon a couple of months ago, but she's now like 25th in the world. And you look at someone like Lydia Ko, who's like really had a pretty strong year since the end of lockdown and has been contending pretty regularly. She's like not even cracked the top 30, I don't think.
Well, you really wouldn't see someone who's never won anything in the men's game winning a major. And, the majors are heavily weighted in terms of world ranking points and all the rest of it. But then being the 25th in the world, I mean, you've got to do fair amount to get 25th in the world, don't you? I mean, who's 25th in the men? Who's 25th in the men's rankings? This sounds like some Google.
You're probably not far. You're probably not far away from Tiger. I imagine Tiger's probably 20th in the world, something like that. Obviously, he plays a very, very sort of reduced schedule. But
Abraham Anser is 25th.
Tiger's 20.
Tiger's 22nd. So that wasn't a bad shout. Yeah, it is interesting. We'll have to do a little bit of research on that and find out where it's going. But until we do that research, we're going to have to delve into Cal's workshop, which it's winter. It's time to tinker. What have we got going on?
I think it's probably the final change for some time, just because I've been thinking about it for a while. The Callaway Apex MBs they're still there, but I'm just putting them to one side just for a bit of winter golf anyway. So I've gone for a cavity back, a Wilson V6 Raw, which shout out to Simon Haynes, actually, friend of the pod, who was having a good chat with him and when we were playing a few weeks ago, and he was really bigging up the Wilson clubs, and to be fair, these things look great. They're raw heads, very similar to the raw heads I've got on the MBs, but just a little bit more forgiving. Slightly softer shaft, about 20-gram difference in weight. And then the dynamic guards I've got in the MBs. These are the KBSs, the 1110s, which are lovely.
Mate,
and to
you
be
could
fair,
genuinely be speaking a different language
oh,
as
it
far
is.
as I
Yeah,
know.
it's only Trotty. You'll know what I'm talking about here.
Slightly stronger lofts, though, Cal? Perhaps than the
No,
blades?
they're a little bit weaker. So
Oh,
no,
okay.
I think the 7-iron is like 35 degrees, which 7-irons nowadays they're like sort of bending those to sort of 32, 33.
Yeah.
So they're nice. So no, they're really good. First
Okay.
few
So-
weeks,
so-
they're nice.
So why, I suppose, is the
Like just a
obvious
little
question.
bit more help. Little bit more help.
Mm.
Because of the softer ground, or because of the
No,
the
just
air being
literally just
thicker,
having
or-
a little bit more forgiveness. I mean, there's not much at address. You can't really tell the difference between the Callaway or the Wilson, but the Wilson, when you turn it over, it's a cavity back instead of a blade muscle back that the Callaway is.
Is it cavity all the way through the set?
It is, yeah. No, yeah, they're just consistent. So it's just a little bit more forgiveness, a bit more help, which is never.
What happens to the old razzle dazzle if you've not hitting your bladed muscle backs?
What, the
You're
spin?
getting the swaz, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. They'll always
It's
spin.
horrendous jargon from you then. Sorry, razzle dazzle.
Oh, everybody likes a bit of raz on the greens, don't they?
I just want to apologise to our listeners. For that
So no,
profane
yeah, no,
language.
that's me. Just a little bit more help, but yeah, it's a bit of fun. Got
I guess when you get up to the 5 and 4 iron, it's particularly comforting to maybe look
big,
down at.
like, yeah, exactly. Especially 4, 5 irons. There's quite a big
When you're
difference.
going out, when you'll be going out in a couple of months' time, maybe playing some links courses, and it's 2 degrees, and you're in 5 layers, and you're sort of staring down the barrel of a 4 iron into a moderate length par 4, as we all do in the winter.
You don't really want a butter knife 4 iron in the hands.
Yeah, and then have your fingers ringing for the next for the next 17 holes or whatever, just because you caught it a bit thin. No, I think that's a smart play actually. You're the first person I know of who's got a winter set of irons, but actually it sounds pretty.
Yeah, to be honest,
it sounds pretty sensible. Like I'd definitely look into it.
yeah.
For sure.
I mean, they may not even be a winter set. I mean, if they'll just carry on into next year, I'd imagine if they're going well. But yeah, there's not too much difference between sort of the 8, 9, and the wedge. It's just the longer irons, which are a bit more help, which is good.
And I suppose all of our listeners are very eager to know how the even roll's performing.
Even roll's good.
How is young Evan this week? Is he doing all right?
He is. Evan Roll is Mr. E Roll is going well. No, he's fine. Yes, that's been a game changer right there. I think that will be in the bag for a long, long time.
What is it you like about the even roll then? Why is it performing? Again, other putters are available.
Just the
What is it
headway.
you like about the even roll?
The headway, and I've got what they call a gravity grip in there, which has got it's a slightly heavier grip at the same time. So sort of, I don't know how do you say it? It's thicker, so I don't know the best way of describing it is it's probably the same size as a standard Super Stroke, but they've got the steel rod that goes down the back of the spine of the back of the grip for again a bit more counterbalance and a bit more weight, and yeah, it's just rolls the ball really well, and it just feels good, looks good at address. One of those picks up and I was like, right, okay, yeah, this looks pretty good.
And have you had your first winter round with your new set of irons yet?
Yeah, no, they've had a couple of rounds. They're good, very nice.
Yeah, pleased.
Brilliant.
Yeah. No, they're
great
good.
to hear it.
So yeah,
other bit of news from the pod. Mills, you went up to Woodhall Spa last week. We saw the Instagram page was decorated with some nice photos up there. What was that experience like?
Yeah, Woodhall Spa is good. I mean,
I've not played it, but it looked
great. So good. Hodgkin.
It's like, and you know what? Like, it starts from the beginning. So we got there, and there's a starter there, and you just get a really high quality starter.
Yeah.
It's like, right, lads, what are you getting on? Oh, do you know what? Do you know that Tom Doak did some restoration? Yeah, well, that used to be a low tree. And he's talking to you, and all he's doing is buying time because the group in front. I think they were trying to leave it hole holes to be clear. But he's like chatting away. He's, there used to be trees and we hold it out now it's a bunker. And he's, just telling you about all this stuff. And it's just, you walked away from the first tee like you wanted to be best friends with the starter,
Yeah.
and that really makes a huge difference, I think. And the bunkering there is genuinely sublime. It's just the most, when you consider how flat Lincolnshire is in general, how they've managed to get that course. And it's really interesting that, again, the starter told us this interesting bit of knowledge, that when there was there was a glacier there back in thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, and one part melted and one part didn't. And the part that melted left a sandy, acidic soil that we all like, that gives us the heathlands. And the part that didn't was just literally across the road. That is all clay-based. So the Bracken, which is their second course, completely clay-based. It's like you wouldn't even know you were in the same complex. But that's the Bracken is a parkland course, like any old parkland course. And then you've across the road, you've got this absolute worldie of a track.
Oh, wow.
And playing off 8.
Oh, yeah.
Shot 4 over gross. Didn't even take the gross.
Bloody hell.
Didn't even take the gross in the group. Shout out to Will Lambie. You say though I don't praise you, Will. Well done. You played well.
Everyone in the group shooting under that.
The other two didn't count as going in.
The other two didn't, unfortunately.
Oh,
The Hodgkin there just asks one question, and that question is, can you hit the ball straight?
Yeah, it's
great. If you can do it, if you can hit the ball straight, the fairways are fairly generous, but as soon as you're off them,
for me, it was like going back in time. It was.
Yeah.
It's such a good track. It's generally quite a sleepy part of the world anyway, but it was it's just it just looks great, and yeah, it's well worth a visit.
Yeah.
To be fair, I played that this time 2 years ago, so I know they've changed a lot. They've done a lot of bunker work since then, so I know we're trying to get down there next month, aren't we? So interested to see what they've done. But no, it's a great place.
Yeah, it's just I was really, really, really impressed. So,
great.
I'd love to get back there. I thought it was quality, and I'd urge any listener that is interested to get there, because it's not outrageously expensive. It's expensive. It's £110, I think, for a round. But when you consider if you try and play some of the heathlands in Surrey or some of the links up in the northwest, you can be paying a lot more money than that. So
I'd imagine their winter package is a little bit cheaper than that again. Yeah,
definitely. So no, I would I'd urge people to go. How's your golf going, Bruce?
Yeah, it's all right, mate. I am just working on a couple of things in the swing at the moment as we sort of move towards winter. Hitting a few too many pushes and overdraws, so I'm trying to tighten up my backswing slightly, get a little bit less lifty, and then that will hopefully allow me to get my shoulder line back to square by the time the club is at last parallel in the downswing, which will allow me to keep rotating more through the strike and therefore neutralize the path a little bit, getting a little bit closed off late in the
and that's game. About all we've got time for on the pod. As always, guys, if you want to get in touch, you can do it.
Are we actually doing? This is a fucking disgrace. I'm made to feel like an absolute child here.
So what are you struggling? Isn't an overdraw a hook anyway, Bruce?
It's just a little, yeah, a little bit of both, I guess. But no, just the occasional ball that's moving a bit too much right to left for my liking. And, as I outlined, I thought quite eloquently, those are the technical changes that I'm going to make to remedy it. But you can go fuck yourself, Tom.
Just focus on Rocky's tempo and you'll be all right.
Well, yeah, that's part of it for sure. You got to get out your own head at times, and Robert Rock's tempo is definitely one way of doing that. So,
having said that, though, Bruce, you can't possibly be thinking about all those things. So, what are you trying to do at address, which is going to help this? Because you can't be thinking about everything you just said.
No, it's cause and effect, though. I just, in the interest of making our listeners think that I'm not just sort of stabbing in the dark here. I wanted to lay out sort of the, cause and effect of my problems. And basically, when I'm over the ball, all I'm trying to do is just make a slightly better turn on the way back and then rotate a little bit harder on the way through. And that's it. essentially. Is that all right? With good tempo.
That sounded
I should
loads
add.
easier.
Yeah, with good tempo, I should add. There you go. 2 turns and a swish. That's what John Jacobs said.
Well, maybe we can do a pod on this and go through it in more detail.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've
Thanks,
got
Cal.
one lined up. We've got one lined up in the future to do some sort of stat tracking, and I think we're going to try and track our stats for a month or so and work out if we can actually gain any improvement from it. So we do look forward to giving you that one. But I think that is about it. So as always, if you have any comments, please do get in touch with us on @CookieJarGolf on all those social media channels. And until then, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Watch
Bye.
this.